am I talking to?
Yeah, I see 15 participants. Yeah, 15 participants. I am there, Kalyan.
Yeah.
Suresh, you are there. Guri is there. Pradeep Asrani ji is there. Nisham. Uh, there is someone SSK. I am not sure. Abhay, Vibhendu, Anil Hingorani, Anup Pandey, Pavan, Ripu Daman, Srinivas Ganti, Sushrut. I see Sonal. I don't know her, but yeah, that's the list. 15 people are there.
Okay, pranam to everybody and good evening.
Yeah, and I'll request everyone to be on mute unless they're speaking. I'll also go on mute.
Kalyan, Kalyan, can we invite more people if who are not RMIMers?
Yeah, I'll post it in Facebook and also in the WhatsApp. But
sure,
we can probably start. I'll also go on mute. Recording has started.
Is there any restriction on number of people joining?
No, it can go up to 1,000.
Okay, great, great.
Yeah, so Suresh, you can start. Recording has started. I'll go on mute now.
Thank you so much. Let me invite my wife also, Prerana. Okay, she's doing something. So, good evening, everybody. And this is a new experiment which we have begun with MIM, and let's wish a big success to that. Why I am talking about Mirza Ghalib today, and Mirza Ghalib in film particular, because you see that 1869 is the year when he passed away, and last year it was 158th year of his passing away. And one of my friends alerted me that, look, Suresh, nothing is happening on internet. Nobody cares about Mirza Ghalib. No new album is coming, and nothing is happening. And I'm giving a talk, and I want you to send me a couple of Saigal songs where he has sung the Ghalib's shares or ghazals. I was really stunned to hear that. So I said, let me start studying myself. And when we met in January, that time only I was of the mind that why don't I go with this? But I was not well prepared. So incidentally, today itself, evening, I was supposed to talk and present all this in Solapur. It so happened that today I am speaking from my home, and some of those guys from Solapur also wanted to join, but anyway, I will send the links later on. So to begin with, let's restrict ourselves to only Ghalib in films in which he is posed as a character. And you can see that Ghalib Sahib is sitting in the middle in the portrait. And that is how he should have been at the age of 70. And we see a young Ghalib on left, black and white, Bharat Bhushan, and the colorful Ghalib on the right, Nasiruddin Shah. And we all know about these two great films. We will not talk about the rest of the films or songs of Ghalib used in films and all that. That we have enough and a lot of time to do that and work on. Choosing these films, one is the black and white of 1954, and other is a TV serial 40 episode thing on in 1988. Has everybody seen the TV, all the serial episodes? You can, one of you can answer, no problem. No need to keep go on mute mode all the time. Can I hear? Can you hear me?
Yes, I've seen the film and the TV serial.
Very good. So all the episodes?
Yes. Absolutely, twice over.
Wow, so it's good. That's why I'm in a good company of RMIMers whom we will learn and educate ourselves. So out of the two, I was really wondering that why only two films out of all this Bollywood gamut on such a great personality, only two films. One is Bharat Bhushan, other is Nasiruddin Shah. And
it was a Pakistani film.
Pardon me, Pakistani I would mention, and also Pakistani serial also. So one Pakistani film and one Pakistani serial. Apart from these four things, they may be chutmut here, but to portray Ghalib as a person and as a great man, because you know, we all learn through a pakka history which may be bitter or sweet or whatever, and through these fictions or films through which lots of imaginary things are happening and lot of things which are not happening in reality are put up in the film. So we are in these two realms and we have to build the character depending on where we are. Like my friend who is an Urdu expert, and he wanted just 2 clips of Saigal from me. whereas I want to be open to anything, like Qadir Khan giving a talk on Ghalib in Dubai, and Rahat Fateh Ali Khan singing all the ghazals of Ghalib in Qawwali style. So we all, as RMIs, we are open to all media. So that's why I chose this. And as one can see that both are great actors, both Bharat Bhushan and Nasiruddin Shah. One can say, one can debate about their acting, whether they were really acting, or in Nasiruddin's case, we have seen any role he takes up, always puts his soul in it. So that's how it is. So let me quickly go to the next slide. That this 1954 film, we know Bharat Bhushan and Suraya were the lead actors and actresses. But this film has won National Film Award in 1954. And that time, Suraya's singing of Mirza Ghalib's ghazals and her acting was specially applauded by the Prime Minister Jawaharlal Nehru, who remarked to her, "You have brought back Ghalib to life." And that was at a special screening of the film at Rashtrapati Bhavan when they were probably awards function in 1954. Is there any disturbance here? Hello? Okay. So now my question here for debate comes a little further, because we know after so many years we can see the film on YouTube and evaluate and see that time person of that stature, Pandit Nehru, he said, "Oh, we knew Ghalib through the film." And if we see the credit titles of the film, on left top, you can see the Mirza Ghalib, probably that is a song booklet or something, isn't it? That is a song booklet, looks like. Released by Adnane Film Service. And on these three screenshots, you can see the story is Sadat Hassan Minto. And screenplay is J.K. Nanda. Produced and directed by Sohrab Modi. And this Suraya, I think her character's name is Moti Begum, right? In the film, her character's name is Moti Begum. And you can see that next to the credit title, there are nice paintings or pictures where the old Ghalib standing with a long stick and the probably children at his feet. On the other, where Sohrab Modi's slide is there, this lady is playing on top. So very skillfully and carefully the pictures, paintings are chosen in that. And here, in this, you can see on the top left, ghazal from Diwan-e Ghalib. I mean, that is the book in which the Ghalib's, all the ghazals or whatever is literature is printed. And this Bharat Bhushan and Suraya picture on the right, all of you, we have seen the film, so how a nice chemistry of one lady loving the Shire, Bharat Bhushan, was depicted in the film, and this man, this person left this Bharat Bhushan standing alone. Probably it is in Darbar where he is deliberating Urdu poetry in a very high Panda level Urdu where nobody understands. But this right side screen, right side screen, dialogues are by Rajendra Singh Bedi, and you can see the bottom line, additional song by Shakil Badayuni. So in a film of on Ghalib, there are songs, and these are called additional songs by Shakil Badayuni. So I just wanted to share the opening titles of this film, and this is where the film begins. Actually, it says that this is a film made जीवन की कुछ घटनाओं पर आधारित फिल्मी नाटक है. इसमें बहुत से कल्पित प्रसंग और पात्र भी शामिल कर दिए गए हैं. उनको वास्तविक या ऐतिहासिक ना समझा जाए. So that is our bottom line or starting point, that we don't have to take history. When it comes to future generations, this is what is passed on as a history. Anyway, in 1969, when people were celebrating birth centenary of Ghalib, HMV brought all the 70 RPM records from the film on a Regal label gramophone disc, and I'm showing you the sleeves. of that long playing record number ELRZ1 something. And you can see a nice picture of Bharat Bhushan ji and Suraya on the front cover. And on the back sleeve, this is a credit of the song. And let me just expand it, show it on the back sleeve and just expand it. So you can see here that out of this side 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. There are 5 songs on side 1, of which 1 is by Shakil Badayuni. And on side 2, there are 6 songs, out of which 4 are Ghalib and 2 are Shakil Badayuni. And if you today go on internet and look up Diwane Ghalib or the entire Ghalib work, from anywhere from 1,000 ghazals to 10,000, 11,000. And I'm wondering, in a film in 1954, only 7 ghazals were chosen. Now, I don't have to play anything because the moment I start reading, immediately the song and tune goes into everybody's head in RMIM. So, Fir Mujhe Dida Tar probably was used Bharat Bhushan in one song sequence where he is singing alone. Interestingly, Aha Ko Chahiye Umra Asar Hone Ke Liye, this is a song where Kumkum and Suraya, they are presenting to Bahadur Shah Zafar. Do you remember this sequence in the film? Hello?
Yeah. In fact, it starts with Ganga Ki Reti, which is also a very good song, but they show that the emperor loses interest, he's leaving, and then Aa Ko Chahiye starts and he's captivated by that.
That's right. But now, do you remember who played the Bahadur Shah Zafar?
Iftikhar.
Iftikhar, and the Ghalib's wife was probably Nigar Sultana, right? Yeah. And so you see the Ghalib's ghazals, either Fir Mujhe Dida Tar, Aa Ko Chahiye, ya Jahan Koi Na Ho, or Nukta Chi Hai, Dile Nadan, all that. One doesn't know in what mindset Ghalib wrote and in what mindset or what a creative artistry the films or TV people use it. But they used depending on what is the situation in the film. And we really don't know in what way Ghalib was honored by Bahadur Shah Zafar and appointed in his darbar for his all prose writing, poetry writing, that is history part. But for cinematic freedom, this Aha Ko Chahiye Ek Umra Asar Hone Ke Liye, that is chosen as a song where the whole thing of Ghalib turns into a different world because of Suraya singing and dancing, and then Bahadur Shah Zafar inviting him to the court, and then suddenly he becomes a different personality. Am I right? Now, this Nukta Chi Hai Game Dil, sung by Suraya, is it correct? On the screen? Nukta Chi Hai.
In the film?
Nukta Chi Hai Game Dil song.
Yeah, that's Suraya.
There is Suraya, but interestingly, I don't know whether Ghalib had intention to write as a duet, but Dile Nadan Tujhe Hua Kya Hai, that is used in the film. And they are not face to face. She is singing in her house and he is singing in his house, right? Dile Nadan Tujhe Hua Kya Hai.
Yep.
I'm trying to say that this cinematic liberty, but when as a viewer or as an audience, when we see these films or episodes, our ideas of Ghalib's life and Ghalib's whole thing get associated directly or indirectly through what we see, and we start believing it. And future generations, of course, can't escape through that. What kya baat kar rahe? This is what Ghalib was. And here I come, which is a link between the TV episodes and as well as this 1954 film, or because this is two things mainly you are speaking. And all the scholars here, you know, this Kalidas Riza, Indian writer and authority on the writings of the Urdu poet Riza Ghalib. He authored books and all got Padma Shri. So I was talking to my friend in Pune. Some of you may have heard his name, but I'm also from Pune, and being Punekar, he could be as eccentric as any Punekar could be. Sorry if Sushrut is listening. Sushrut?
मी पण पुण्याचाच आहे.
Oh, Abhay, you are also from Pune. But his name is Sanjay Godbole.
Okay.
And Sanjay Godbole lives just opposite City Post Office, where old Lana Godbole bookshop is the son of the person. And once I was traveling from Mumbai to Pune, and I told Sanjay, I am going to do some work and present on Ghalib in films. They said, why are you doing all this? I said, why? Why? Because both the films are trash. Either Gulzar Singh or... And he told me, this man you are seeing in the picture, he challenged them openly that what distorted and rubbish history you are putting in your TV serials. And then Kaifi Azmi and Gulzar Saab were stunned by the research which these people presented. And incidentally, if you go to YouTube and listen to Kader Khan's presentation in Dubai on Ghalib's work, he is explaining all that. Here he mentions not Godbole, but he says Gokhale. He said कि Kader Khan is saying that आप समझते होंगे कि गालिब यानी एक बेवड़ा है और जुआ खेलने वाला आदमी है, लेकिन वो गोखले है जिन्होंने मेरी आँख खोली और बोला कि तुमको गालिब क्या समझ में आया. So Godbole in Pune and Mr. Kalidas from Mumbai, they have really brought out the real Ghalib, which we don't know. And I told Sanjay, why don't you write? I said, who is going to read? And who wants all this stuff? Because history is so bitter, and these people have polished and did the things for cinematic liberty and artistic whatever, that I don't want even to talk about those films. And I said, okay, I understand. But now what the message goes to the new generation, that history is at one place, the artistic freedom and creativity and what we see on episodes and films is different thing. So how do we make a balance out of? Because you see, like our Tukaram Gatha or Jnaneshwar, that we really don't know in such a short time, really, did they write all this or somebody put their own work in the name? First, after Ghalib passed away, 100 years, nobody took even notice until 1969 when Ghalib Institution was founded in Delhi. And then suddenly, now you can go and check on Wikipedia and internet that very first, when the first Diwan-e-Ghalib came, some few hundred items were there. And now how it rises to 11,000 or 10,000 something, it's a question to answer. So what is really Ghalib and what is not Ghalib is a question, but I leave it there. Yes?
Sorry, just one thing. I think you need to look at two things here. One is Ghalib's much greater output was in Persian.
Yes.
Urdu ghazals number in the hundreds, and the figure of 285 is also the generally accepted figure.
Correct.
But he has written at least 1,000 or more ghazals in Persian.
Yes.
I'm not sure what figures are getting quoted, but I haven't heard of 10 or 11,000 in the context of Ghalib at least. The fact remains that people pass off every second verse as Ghalib, that's a different story.
Yes.
But full ghazals attributed to Ghalib, I think the official number still, as accepted, stands at the same thing as some 285.
Yeah. And we saw that in this film, only 7 ghazals are chosen, which are Urdu, Hindi mixed. And we really don't know whether they are really Ghalib's or somebody has put their work in the name of Ghalib. But leave it at that point. I just wanted to point out matter of academic interest. Anybody has any comment before I proceed?
Hello?
Yes.
Yes, a question. There are 11 songs listed on the thing, but in the movie, at the end of the movie, there is when the funeral of Suraya is taking place, there's a ghazal or nazam by Suraya's voice herself, which is not listed anywhere.
Yes.
It starts with the word like Husn Gam. I could not decipher what is it. Is it by Ghalib or is it by Shakil?
Yeah, that also is a question.
What are the words? I don't recall this.
If you look at the end of the movie, when उसका जब ताबूत जा रहा है सुरैया का, और उसके पीछे बैकग्राउंड में करीब 2 मिनट की गजल है, उसके 2 वर्ड मुझे समझ में आए, हुस्न गम और समथिंग. उसके आगे वो क्लियर नहीं है, पर ये मालूम है कि गालिब की लिखी हुई है कि शकील की लिखी है.
It is actually, I think
this is a situation of
हमने माना कि तगाफुल न करोगे लेकिन खाक हो जाएंगे. I think that is Ghalib itself.
That is Ghalib.
Yeah.
If you are referring to that one, हमने माना कि तगाफुल न करोगे लेकिन खाक हो
जाएंगे. That's the same ghazal which is there in the film, ना वो आह को चाहिए उम्र असर होने तक, उसी से है वो.
No, but it's but it's not there in that particular ghazal. It's coming at the end.
Okay. Yeah, it's at the end.
सुनना पड़ेगा.
हाँ, जो कुछ सुन के please, knowledgeable guys can post something in the WhatsApp group.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just one thing to add, Suresh ji, about the film.
Yes.
My understanding is that Saurabh Modi in the film before this, Jhansi Ki Rani, he lost his.
Yes.
It was very expensive. He
Yes.
lost everything, and I think this film, which came after that, I think helped him recover at least some of it because
Sure,
the film
sure.
did very well.
And also award bhi mila na.
Yeah.
Hmm. So that was a sort of a landmark or a changeover for his the Minerva's movie tone. And everybody became famous. Bharat Bhushan became famous. Surya became famous. Of course, they were earlier also famous, but the film really made a mark on Indian cinema that at least Mirza Ghalib, after so many years after his death, was brought to celluloids. So we must thank them all. Am I right?
And it is probably Suraya's last hit. I don't think she had any hit after that.
Okay. Yeah. You can ask film archives. Somebody.
Amma.
Yeah. So, should we proceed?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, please.
Okay. So, what I talked about so far was the film, and there were many small couplets within the dialogues and scenes which I have not included because I was referring to the gramophone record which was released commercially. So that has 7 songs, and most of them probably Urdu, Hindi mix, and used for different situations as was required in the film. That's perfectly all right. There's no problem about it. And those were so popular that 700 RPM records also were sold in very large numbers, and LP also did very well in the centenary year. So now we go to the next, the TV series Mirza Ghalib of Gulzar. So I don't know what was the purpose of doing it in 1988 because there was no special occasion on Ghalib or anybody. But then I asked some of my friends. So they said that Gulzar and Kaifi and those people were ready with the script long ago, but Nasruddin Shah ki date nahi mil rahi thi because he was very busy. So that's why whenever he got time, and that's why the release was in 1988. So again, Mirza Ghalib, played by Nasruddin Shah, and I think name of Tawaif is Nawab Jan or something, and that was Neena Gupta, right? Neena Gupta, and this today you can see in all 4 parts about 1 hour long each part, and I suggest that those who haven't seen those, I like somebody said I have seen twice in full. So in one sitting, I also saw 3-4 times, and each time I saw, I was really totally taken away in comparison with 1954 film. Of course, this comparison is not that way correct or genuine also, but you can't help it. It comes back. The interesting thing is that because of this, these 2 great singers, Jagjit Singh and Chitra Singh, also became very famous because of different kind of music they set for the entire series. And when you listen to it, you will appreciate what I'm saying. So here are again I am taking you back to the great title part because I really like this artistic way in which, again, you can see this is a color now, and Ghalib Saab is probably now very old. In the top right, written and directed by Gulzar, and haath mein kuch wo japmala hai, and is probably going to his large journey. And on the bottom, young Ghalib Nasruddin. Really, you would agree with me that he has really lived the role, not played the role. But I'm a bit curious. On the left side, this is a DVD of Ghalib, and there's a long feather coming on left. Can you see Auro when I'm moving here?
Yeah.
Okay, so I want to know from Urdu people, what is this? Any idea?
Ghalib.
The name Ghalib.
Ghalib written in Urdu?
Ghalib written in Urdu.
Ghalib written on the top, and down, I think
the kind
there is a minaret on top, right?
On the A and the L. So on top of those 2 letters, they just put one small minaret kind of a thing.
Like his cap. Like his cap here. Yeah, like his cap here. Okay.
It's written below it. It's too small.
These paintings are by A.R. Chugtai, who's a Pakistani artist. Even in Sohrab Modi's titles, the paintings are by A.R. Chugtai.
What do you say about the paintings?
The paintings are by a very famous artist called A.R. Chugtai. Pakistan as in is a
Oh, you mean in both the film as well as the TV
This one
series?
for sure is an A.R. Chuktai painting, and I believe even Sohrab Modi's paintings were his series of Ghalib portraits.
Okay.
Oh, I mean, same person had done the painting, you mean?
No, it was not commissioned for either of the movies. He's done it independently, and Gulzar has used it here.
Oh, they have taken it here. But interestingly, in both the paintings, whether in 1954 Mirza Ghalib of Sohrab Modi or Gulzar film, you can see that a man and a woman, probably whether Ghalib or not, we don't know, because on the lower right, you can see a different kind of headgear for the man, and there is a cap on the left side. But it is also argued by many people that this tawayups and accepting his, making him popular through singing and all that is okay, fine. But in any creative man's or creative poet's mind, his poem or his writing itself is some form of a woman. I don't know whether it is, how far it is true or correct, or inspiration. And that's why probably all these credit titles go with beautiful faces of the woman. What do you say about the woman on the top left? Does she look Indian or Persian, or can we comment on the faces of women? One is looking towards us and one is looking to inside the picture. It doesn't seem to be.
In mind.
So they are all from this series of paintings which he did called Muraqqa-e-Ghalib.
Yeah.
By Chuktai. So all these paintings are a single collection.
What is the title of the collection again?
Just not Ghalib, but he's tried to paint his like poetry as well. As in, like the poems have inspired some of the paintings. So they may not be biographical.
Okay. Because I find it a little bit odd because it's okay. It's a universal, global. That's why it's good that you clarified that these are taken away from some other work which may not be done specifically for a film or the TV serial. So कहाँ से उठा के यहाँ पेश किया होगा या use किया होगा, so that it looks nice. There's no doubt about it. But I myself thought that little bit mismatched because what we see the characters in both Suraya's film and Nina Gupta's film, the thing don't really match. But it's anyway. Titles go only for few minutes or few seconds. But that also is a thing for study. Okay. This is another version where music Jagjit Singh and Naseeruddin Shah as Mirza Ghalib. Here again a woman on the top right slide and a man and a woman, maybe poet Ghalib or something. So this I wanted to share because when I opened the first part of this 4-part serial on Ghalib, I found these opening titles very fascinating and very catchy. If you go to subsequent parts of the same episode, you will see different opening titles. Now, music, we talked about that Chitra Singh and Jagjit Singh and narration by Gulzar. Again, this is not my doing, this is from Wikipedia, list of ghazals included in this TV series. Only 10. And here there is no additional song. All seem to be from Ghalib. So, Dil Hi To Hai Na Sango Kist, that's the most famous ghazal. Koi Gar Jindagani Aur Hai, Hazaron Khwaishein Aisi, हर एक बात पे कहते हो तुम तू क्या है आह को चाहिए एक उम्र असर होने के लिए है और भी दुनिया में इश्क मुझको नहीं वैसा चीज नहीं ये ना थी हमारी किस्मत एंड किसको दे दे के दिल को so this out of so many writings of things and of course he has used so many short verses and when Naseeruddin is singing or rhyming and there are many
They were works of Mir and other contemporaries also.
Also yes. Patta Patta Bhuta Bhuta.
Especially in the Mushaira, etc.
Mushaira also and Patta Patta Bhuta Bhuta is a full song by Mir taken in that. So, but I am seeing the list of ghazals of Ghalib. Not everything is listed, but probably Wikipedia wants to. This is a page. This is from the page on Ghalib. So probably they have listed these 10 songs. So 10 best, I mean like top 10. One can say they were used. Jagjit and Chitra have sung them so beautifully. Those who have seen the episode, I don't have to tell you. Very nice. All kind of different music than the Ghulam Muhammad period. That was, of course, times were different. Now the times are or were different in 1988-90. And there Saurabh Modi was the director here. Gulzar, a poet himself, was behind the production. So I thought that I should share that these 10 things. And the way in which she used, I am just summarizing it here. So what I have done on this slide is that on top you can see Mirza Ghalib, part 1 of 4, 2 of 4, 3 of 4, and 4 of 4. And what I have written in the boxes in red. And why I am doing this, because I am going to share this PPT to everybody, including those who are not participating just now, that later on you please go to these episodes and watch this video. For example, from 1 hour 19 minutes to 1 hour 30 minutes, 1 hour 42 minutes to 1 hour 50 minutes. So you will see these beautiful songs. For example, Dil Hi To Hai Na Sango Christ, Dar Se Bharna Aaye Kyun? Because this is my heart, not brick and mortar. So it will get filled with the sorrow and bliss. So this particular ghazal used in two different ways. Once when Ghalib himself loses his young child, and he himself is lamenting and singing Dil Hi To Hai Na Sango Christ. And in this second slot, 1 hour 42 minutes to 150, where he is himself singing from his friend's bookshop, that Tawaif on the other side, on the top floor, is singing, rhyming this ghazal, which he has penned. So one song used in two different situations so beautifully. I mean, even if I'm telling you now, it's really, I'm listening to it. Same way in part 2 and 4, you should go to this 1 hour 22 minutes to end, and that is where the Har ek baat pe kehte ho ki tum tu kya hai. Now in part 3 and 4, at this point, 10 minutes 11 to 10:21, there is a beautiful song, Hazaro Khwahish Aisi. Because in that, those who have seen, they will remember that he had promised the Tawaif that if I really get good fortune because of your dua at the Maqbara, then I will come and put a shawl around you myself in your kotha. And that is where he goes, and he finds that because of that Kotwal, she has fled the Delhi. And then he himself, with Jagjit Singh, great thing, is singing Hazaro Khwahish Hai. In the same sequence, you will see this Aha Ko Chahiye Ek Asar Umra Hone Ke Liye used in a totally different scenario than with what we see in Mirza Ghalib of 1954. There it was for pleasing the Bahadur Shah. Here, Ghalib is returning from Calcutta with all his hopes vanished because no response from the pension. So in that backdrop, he is traveling in a boat, and that song comes out. Whereas in Mirza Ghalib film, we all saw that Aha Ko Chahiye Asar Umra Karne Khone Ke Liye. With that sequence, the Ghalib fortune changes. Whereas in this episode, in this Gulzar, sorry, let me just close the window. Yeah, dog barking music. So in this Gulzar Saab episode, this changeover takes place in a mushaira in front of Bahadur Shah Jafar, where he is singing Har ek baat pe kehte ho ki tu kya hai, tu kya faltu aadmi hai, ye tum hi kaho, ye andazi guftagu kya hai. So I don't know whether any one of you have seen that. And this last part, Mirza Ghalib movie part 4 of 4, there in part 4 from 1 hour 1 minute to the end, you see completely totally different episode. I am really tempted to show it all this to you, but because our technology today is not favorable to show audio and video, I am just describing, and you can yourself see anytime, of course, and those who have seen, they can recollect that this is the last part of Ghalib, when Ghalib is now old, 60 years or something, or approaching 60, and after 1857, you can call mutiny, you can call freedom of war. There was a big turmoil in Delhi from 1960 to end of the century. every now and then people were raided and people were threatened and people were caught and hanged in Mehrauli area of today. And Ghalib is moving in those corpses which are hung from the tree, and then on return he meets his old fakir friend who is played by Amjad Ali Khan, and then he says, मैं तो थक गया हूँ अभी, जब मेरा जनाजा उठेगा तो कौन उठाने के लिए पता नहीं होगा. And then a short clip comes that in 1969 how Indira Gandhi inaugurated the Ghalib Institute in Delhi and how it functioned, and it returns back again, and Jagjit Singh's beautiful last song and Naseeruddin Saab's acting. You should see that. I don't want to comment any more on that, but beautiful. So this is the sequence which I was talking about, that he was talking to this friend on the right, who is his boxer friend. Ghalib is about to go up, and suddenly he hears the Tawaif singing and goes up. I will just play for a minute. You may not get any audio, but let's see whether how it is working. Tell me if you are getting audio, otherwise I will shut off after a minute.
You are nahi hai, but you can.
Yeah, I don't hear any audio, just the video.
It need to be set from the system, play system audio. वो setting करना पड़ेगा उसका. Anyway, currently there's no audio.
It's okay, we can keep going. ऑडियो नहीं सुनाई दे रहा, आप आगे चले जाओ.
सुरेश,
सुरेश जी को ऑडियो सुनाई दे रहा है, तो वो एंजॉय कर रहे हैं आप लोग.
अच्छा अच्छा. चलो बीच में मैं बाकी लोगों को एक बात बता दूं.
हाँ जी गुरु जी बोलिए.
या प्लीज. या
ये सुरेश जी को बताना पड़ेगा, आँख को चाहिए एक उम्र असर होने को, के लिए नहीं है वो.
होने तक जी.
होने तक. हाँ, के लिए नहीं था.
Suresh ji, you're there?
Saying that.
Yeah.
He's been saying that repeatedly, so I thought I would address my restlessness about it.
So, since I don't hear Suresh ji and this is going on, can I ask a question?
Okay, so if you are not getting, are you getting any videos or no video at all?
Video is coming, but audio is not coming. So
okay, so I will just stop it here and then go next.
Yeah.
So what I want
let's
to
go.
So can I ask a question? Since
yes, of course.
So, the Mushaira scene is famous both in the film and it's more elaborate in the TV serial.
Yes.
Just wanted to check from the experts how accurate it is, and
okay.
In terms
Ghalib
of the
has,
characters, in terms of what they recite.
Ghalib has written a lot about his life and these times in the letters that are abundant, a lot more information there than in his poetry.
Also, I would like to add here something.
Yes.
Hello.
Yes.
Speaking of the TV serial of Gulzar, I had a word with him earlier, long ago, and also he has, I believe he has mentioned it in some document also, that his idea of Ghalib was not to have a biographical film or feature. Rather than what he has done is, he has taken Ghalib's ghazals and Ghalib's work and then woven scenarios around it. It's a kind of a fact feature or a fact fiction or it's a mix of reality and fiction. And he has taken liberty in that sense that he might have written this ghazal for this scenario. So he has, rather than doing a biographical account of Ghalib, he has taken Ghalib's works and then woven various scenarios around it. So if you see the Mushaira thing, Mushaira is a very, very interestingly picturized, and I believe that's a very, very good craftsmanship of Gulzar over there, because the way he has woven Mushaira into the script and the relevance and significance of Ghalib. Just 1 minute on that. Ghalib was rejected in the court, but then he sings in this particular Mushaira when he's invited again, and then he wins the court. So it starts with Nasir singing, and then it moves to a fakir, and then it moves to a court, the Kurdshan, the Nina Gupta part. So that established that Ghalib was rejected before this Mushaira, but then he was so popular after this particular Mushaira that even the fakir on the sarak was singing him, and even the Kurdshan in a court was singing him. That means his popularity was across the various classes, and he got popular after this. So it might not have happened in this way in real life, but he has woven it in a dramatic scenario. So that kind of liberty he has taken, and I believe this episode has come quite well, especially in the context of the ghazal के हर एक बात पे कहते हो तुम कि तू क्या है कि what तुम हो क्या, तो then he shows कि मैं क्या हूँ. So and then Ghalib's popularity reaches to masses and crowds and even courts. So that way it is not authentic. It is not the way it might have happened, but the way it has been filmed, it is a kind of a scenario that is woven around it. That's it.
No, I agree with you.
The genre is called docudrama.
Docudrama.
I'll just add this why this Mushaira features in both the movie and the play and the TV series was because there's an early 20th century text by this guy called Mirza Faratullah Beg, which is Delhi ki Aakhri Yadgar ka Aakhri Yadgar Mushaira, and he tried to reconstruct this Mushaira, and that has become like a kind of a canonical text. And I believe Kaifi Azmi also written a play called Aakhri Shama, which is also based on the same Mushaira. And the idea is that
Vipendra, sorry, just one point.
And Kaifi Azmi actually Kaifi Azmi is credited for research in Gulzar's TV serial. He is a prominent researcher behind the Gulzar used Kaifi Azmi's research for this particular serial, and he is credited for that.
So this, so I'll just add that text I believe has been used by both Sora Modi, Kaifi Azmi, that particular thing by Faratullah Beg, which is description of that particular Mushaira, and has been used at multiple places.
So Vipendra, is the link available somewhere?
Yeah, I'll try and finding.
In fact, from what I remember, the only two things I remember which are common in the film and the TV serial, one is the Mushaira, the other is the mango joke.
Mushaira is a very popular play, and it keeps coming on Didi Urdu quite a few times. And if I remember correctly, Raja Murad has played Ghalib there. If I remember, there's a drama, Doordarshan drama on that Urdu ka Aakhri Shab, something like that. I'll get back on that later this, but I believe I might be having some recording of that play also. I'll check.
Yeah, and the mango joke is also there in both. Maybe it is authentic then.
Yeah, it is there. It is authentic. Probably it is from the letters. Guri?
Yeah, it's in Ghalib ke Khutut.
Ghalib ke Khutut.
And Mohyuddin has narrated a lot of those, and then Gulzar Saab did it in the production afterwards, which was called Tera Bayan Ghalib. हुआ ये था कि serial में Jagjit was not allowed to use any of his chik chik tha tha. And because Gulzar Saab wanted only sarangi, harmonium, the instruments of the time, and therefore Jagjit recorded every ghazal twice, once with and once without.
Oh.
And Tera Bayan Ghalib has the second version of all.
And there was a significant fight over that, and it took a lot of time in resolving that particular issue. That Jagjit wanted it to be a music album, and somehow they managed both, and probably that was good for us.
वो ये हुआ था कि after he passed, this project of the Tera Bayan Ghalib was fast tracked, and the album came out
After Jagjit Singh's passing.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that's a beautiful album for the khutut that Gulzar Saab has woven into the album. So it's a whole different project away from the serial.
There's no orchestration in the album.
I'm sorry?
How's the music in the album different? It does not have the orchestration, or?
No, it has the additional
it has,
orchestra.
yeah, background pieces, but faded out. They are not as prominent as the usual album. It's a supporting background.
हाँ नहीं, वो जगजीत की अपनी एक इच्छा थी तो इसको पूरा किया बाद में उसको रिलीज करके. और उसमें मतलब ये तो पता लग जाता है कि जब आप सुनते हैं विद द एडिशनल अरेंजमेंट, तो ये तो पता लग जाता है कि गुलजार साहब ने लड़ाई क्यों करी, क्योंकि सीरियल में नहीं जमता वो. But as an album, it's a beautiful album to listen.
So, should we continue? Hello?
Yeah, please.
Yeah, so
please continue.
We were discussing and debating. I was just playing this video in mute about the Mushaira scene which you are talking. Is it the correct one?
Yeah.
That's the same Mushaira scene.
Yeah, so what I just wanted to again share with you that this Har Ek Baat Pe Kehte Ho Ki Tu Kya Hai, it's not in the Mirza Ghalib film. Do you remember it is there? In 1954 film?
I don't think
it's not there in the film.
Pardon me?
It's not there in the film.
Not in the film. So again, you see the work of Ghalib. We don't know in what mindset, in what situation he wrote all his poems or ghazals, and perfectly all right. That depending on the story and plot demand, one producer or director uses it one way, other uses it this way. But I think what common factor is that why Ghalib lives so long, even after 200 years, that he's connected with a common man on the road. The wife in the kotha and man who is singing on the road, and there is a one, if you remember, there is one small episode where Ghalib, goes to Nawab Jan's kotha and finds that nobody is there, and suddenly the Naukar opened the door. I think that is played by this our Sholay man. What is his name? Areo Samba wala.
Javed Khan.
No, not Javed Khan.
Mac Mohan.
Mac Mohan. Mac Mohan. Yeah. Mac Mohan. Yeah.
Yeah, somebody. Yeah. So he says कि Ghalib, तुम हर एक के दिल की बात कैसे लिख सकते हो? Where Nawab Jan had written all the things on the mirror and door, and then he opens up the door and goes out in the courtyard and says, तेरे कूचे से बड़े बेआबरू होके निकले. That is where the हजारों ख्वाहिशें ऐसी song comes. And we know that this हजारों ख्वाहिशें है ऐसी is used in different art forms, in different cinemas. So one poetic work gets so much carried away for centuries and centuries, and then it still has a haunting effect on all of us. And that is where I want to just now show you, not play, because we know all this great album of Lata ji singing Ghalib. And now the same, हर एक बात पे कहते हैं कि तू क्या है, तुम ही कहो कि अंदाज़ी गुफ्तगू क्या है. Whether that essence which we saw in Mushaira or in Gulzar Saab, if any percentage comes in Lata ji's singing, not for the voice or sound anything, but that emotion or that important. Who are you? Kaun tum hai? Whether does it come or not? You listen and decide yourself. I don't want a big debate on it, but somebody can make a comment if wants. But before somebody makes comment, I want to draw your attention on a beautiful cover of that LP album, which is done by Usha Mangeshkar herself. Very nice album. And here I have put all the things from the Wikipedia, those who want in Devanagari in Roman. So this is how in 1969, when birth centenary was celebrated and from Government of India, so everybody rushed in, and we were also happy that nice albums came like this one and like the next one here. And Shahir Saab, whose birth centenary was celebrating, he wrote a poem, Gandhi Ho Ya Ghalib Ho. Should I read it to you, or you can see it yourself? Hello?
Yes, it's visible, but
yeah, I will read it. It is a Gandhi की बरसगांठ और गालिब शताब्दी समारोह के समापन पर लिखित फरवरी 1970. This is what Shahir wrote. गांधी हो या गालिब हो, दोनों का उत्सव समाप्ति पर है. आओ दोनों को दफना दो. आओ दोनों को दफना दो. बात करना बंद करो सभ्यता की. आइए सभी सांस्कृतिक शोर को बंद करें. सत्य अहिंसा सब बकवास है. तुम हत्यारे हो, मैं डाकू हूं. क्या बस्ती क्या गांव, हरिजन कहाँ मुक्त है. कौन सा जिला है, कौन सा शहर है, वो अहमदाबाद नहीं होगा. ये अहमदाबाद आता है क्योंकि February 1970 there was a communal riot and communal fasad in Ahmedabad. That's where the Ahmedabad word comes here. गांधी हो या गालिब हो, आज दोनों किस काम के हैं. इस साल भी वे मारे गए हैं. एक की शिक्षा दूसरी की जीभ. गांधी हो या गालिब हो, दोनों का उत्सव समाप्ति पर है. आओ दोनों को दफना दो. And you can see Gandhi, Ghalib and Shahir. One connecting factor that their roots and their work reached masses, and they will remain in our memory till the time masses are there and reading and listening to that. So this is one poem of Shahir Saab on his birth centenary. And on the same, he wrote another poem that is in 1969. And this poem is Ghalib ka Jashn, Jashn-e-Ghalib, or that is Ghalib ki Mrityu Shatabdi par. And it goes something like that. This is a little long poem. But incidentally, in a function in Delhi, he read in presence of Mrs. Indira Gandhi, who was present in the function, and it is said in Wikipedia that she became a little restless after listening to this poem. What is the poem? हमारी आज़ादी के 21 साल हो गए और अब हम गालिब को याद करते हैं. उसकी कब्र कहाँ है, उसका घर कहाँ था. हमारे कविता असर वाले दिमाग अब सोचते हैं. 100 साल तक कवर के लिए तरसने वाली कब्र अब फूलों का प्रदर्शन होता है, जो भक्ति प्रसाद द्वारा भरा जाता है. उर्दू के संदर्भ में रहस्य हल नहीं हुआ है. यह उत्सव, यह कोलाहल, यह सेवा है या चाल है. उन कस्बों में जहां गालिब की आवाज सालों से गूंज रही थी, उन शहरों में उर्दू का कोई निशान नहीं बचा है. जिस दिन से स्वतंत्रता की घोषणा की गई थी, भाषा को कुचल दिया गया है. यह एक देशद्रोही है. इस युग की राजनीति जिसने एक जीवित जीव को रौंद दिया, वह स्थापना मृतक की देखभाल क्यों करती है. वो जिसे गालिब कहा जाता है उर्दू का कवि था. उर्दू के खिलाफ क्रूरता के बाद गालिब के लिए अब यह उत्सव क्यों. यह उत्सव इस दिन दिलचस्प खिलौने हैं. कुछ लोगों की हथकड़ियां अन्य लोगों को संतुष्ट करती हैं, जो अब खाली प्रतिज्ञाओं से सहमत नहीं होंगे. इस शोरगुल के शोर से कुछ देर के लिए विदा हो सकते हैं. यह त्योहार धन्य हो सकता है, लेकिन सच्चाई यह है कि हम अपनी वास्तविकताओं को मानने से रहित हैं। गांधी हो या गालिब, अगर सच कहा जाए, हम दोनों के हत्यारे हैं, हम दोनों के उपासक हैं। So this he wrote 1 year before, February 1969.
May I comment? May I make a comment here?
Please go ahead.
These seem to be translations and not what probably he wrote in.
Yeah. They are taken from Wikipedia.
नहीं ये भैया ये तो no, this is completely non-Sahir.
No, this is the original. Actually, the Sahir's original is so punchy. He says गालिब जिसे कहते हैं उर्दू ही का शायर था, उर्दू पे सितम ढाके गालिब पे करम क्यों है?
हाँ, now that is Sahir, not this. These two pieces.
And it's also badly translated. It says Jeev Jeep ko ron diya. I think Zuban has been translated as Jeeb. Language here and not the tongue.
Was there some Marathi guy?
So that's why, Guri, I'm trying to make a point from the very beginning that how the thing get distorted and how the new history gets written. And young people बोलेंगे क्या भाई बोल रहे हो, इंटरनेट पे, विकिपीडिया पे, व्हाट्सएप पे ये सब आ रहा है और तुम बोल रहे हो ओरिजिनल पढ़ो, ये क्या चीज है? And that's why our people like Godbole gets really maddened that everybody is distorting and nobody cares that what we are adding to history. और बोलते या आर्टिस्टिक लिबर्टी है, एक्सप्रेशन है, ये है, वो है, ठीक है, लेकिन अभी देखो इतने में ये कविता को इन्होंने इतना ओवरफ्लोट करके गलत मतलब घटिया ट्रांसलेशन किया है. बट young people or even people like me who want to see where will I go very quickly, I will go to Wikipedia, right? Anyway, so I just wanted to share these two poems with you. I'm just coming to end my presentation in 5 minutes, and yes, I thought that there is a link between Ghalib, Gandhi and Sahir, and these three great men, we are projecting different kind of images to very young people using all our different media, and there is nothing like authentic because everybody is very subjective and depending on what source you are using. So these are the two poems, and what comes next? Yes. Now I will just flash a couple of slides and I will go back to 1969, and this reminds me that whenever something happens on a government level, like in 1969, when government decided to do something about Ghalib and formed a Ghalib institution in Delhi, suddenly the musical scene also changed. And one album of Hridaynath and Lataji came, which you saw in previous slide. And if you see some of those LP album comments on YouTube, people have slapped the composer that क्या बात कर रहे हैं, तूने तो यहाँ से तेरी ट्यून है ही नहीं, you have picked up from somewhere and on the cover your name is there, so something like that. Then another thing, great thing came was the another LP. I'm not showing exactly the same LP cover of Rafi Sagar, but that beautiful song मुद्दत हुई है यारों को मेहमा किए हुए. And why people want to sing, because it's really even today our feeling ना, that if I don't meet Guri in one of the RMI meeting and गले लग जाओ तो यही बोलेंगे ना मुद्दत हुई है यारों को मेहमा किए हुए. So those feelings in each and every popular ghazals of Ghalib still exist now. That's why
this was an album that featured Kafi reciting some poems as well as narrating a little bit from the Khutut also. He talks about I remember the one that I remember very clearly is when he talks about Aadha Musalman hu main ye swar khata hu.
Right? Wonderful. So I'm just showing you, flashing you a couple of things which happened in 1969, because today in 2019, probably I don't know whether there was a conducive atmosphere you want to talk about Ghalib in the current situation, but and nothing has happened in 2019. No new album, no new song, no new LP, cassette, CD, nothing I can say on it. But in 1969, one more thing came, that was the Begum Saiba singing Ghalib. And that Aah Ko Chahiye Ek Umra Asr Hone Tak, such a beautiful rendering by Begum Saiba. You see the same song, one song used in 1954, Mirza Ghalib, same song used in the Gulzar Saab episode, and again Begum Saiba giving interpretation, and such a beautiful cover. I don't know who made it. And there was one more, I remember, which I'm not flashing, there was one more LP which featured Rafi Saab on one side and Begum Sahiba on one side.
No, there were only 2 Begum Akhtar ghazals on that one.
Correct, Rafi.
That was by Khayyam, tune by Khayyam.
Correct. And this is the CD of the Ghalib, Jagjit Singh and Chitra Singh, where Nukta Chi Hai Game Dil. And I will just flash and play. You won't see audio, but you know that was done from 1933 onwards. So it's a Saigal Saab singing the thing.
Oh yeah.
Yahudi ki ladki. So what I'm trying to say toward the end, that you see today, actually our generation and future generation have proved wrong what Sahir said. उर्दू जबार जरूर मर गई होगी, उर्दू का हाल खराब होगा, लेकिन internet and YouTube video and those who want, oh my God, they will put the subtitles in their own language, whatever, or even audio, and all those great ghazals are still alive. They will sing either in Qawwali style or rhyme style, or today maybe who knows, somebody in Maharashtra, bhajan style also. But this will never go away, and this will remain with us for a very, very long time. And if there is somebody in Delhi, I remember to have seen his video, that he is explaining you that what is Nukta Chi Hai Game Dil, what is Nukta Chi? Nukta Chi person who is extremely critical. भाई हस्बैंड में होता है कि तुम कुछ भी करो, ये तो एक उनकी बात उसके ऊपर होगी, तो ऐसे आदमी को दिल का दर्द सुनाने में क्या मतलब है? That is Nukta Chi. So such a help also is coming forward from internet and all videos. So Sahir Saab Corona एक तरह से ठीक है, and that Urdu which Abhay said, which Persian ghazal, nobody even will understand today unless you go to really Persian scholars, and there is no Kalidas like that in India.
Tahir's verses on Ghalib are not in Persianized Urdu. They are in fairly common day Urdu.
No, I'm talking about Ghalib's his own work, not Rastan Shahid.
Actually, I would like to say
that reminds me, if I could just come in for a minute, that reminds me. There is a sound alike of Ghalib's, right? We have the great Pakistani Shair Habib Ghalib. Right? Ghalib wrote something about Ghalib's poetry, which I really love. You were also saying that only a few ghazals have been used, 10 here, 12 there. If you think about it, the ghazals of Ghalib, which are commonly known and which are survived, are among the easier ghazals of Ghalib.
I see.
Ghalib's other ghazals are actually, many of them are very difficult. So Ghalib, actually, in one of his ghazals, Ghalib writes about Ghalib.
I see.
Okay, he says, वही लोगों के है लब पे वो गुनगुनाते हैं, वही लोगों के है लब पे उसी को गुनगुनाते हैं, गजल जो हजरत गालिब से रौ में हो गई आसान. Those ghazals which in Ghalib's flow, the ones which turned out, those are the ones which people in the street sing. I think that is very true. His more difficult ghazals are very difficult, but the fact that all these have found favor is to a huge extent thanks to the film and the serial that we are talking about.
Yeah, and also in the film, I think in the popular ghazals also the more difficult shares have been. Yeah, the more difficult. Sorry, someone playing.
क्या हो गया?
Yes.
Kalyan, you saying something?
Yes.
No, I was not saying. Yes, I was. So even in I think the film, the more difficult shares I think are left out in Ghulam Muhammad.
Yeah, they have only 2.5 hours, and there is so much story woven around them. So songs have little importance. I mean, not much prominent.
In fact, so Abhay, the question, in fact, I had from before is this whole thing about Ghalib having a broad appeal. How true is that? Considering his language was considered very difficult and very Persianized, right? Unlike someone like Mir.
Yeah.
Actually, I think it's a bit of a journey there. Mir's poetry, the bulk of Mir's poetry, is definitely easier to understand than the bulk of Ghalib's. And the bulk of Ghalib's poetry is much easier to understand than the bulk of Iqbal's.
Yeah.
So actually, there seems to have been a journey towards more Persianization and Urdu becoming more difficult if you trace a line from Mir to Iqbal. The exception to the rule there is Faiz.
I would like to add one very small comment here.
Yes.
That the TV serial worked significantly towards the popularity of Ghalib as of today.
Yes.
It opened Ghalib for the entire world, especially the people who are not well versed into the Urdu and those who were not stars of the Urdu. And the way the Jagjit sang them, so people had that connect. So it goes a lot of credit goes to Jagjit as well as Nasir as well as Gulzar Sahab. So that serial opened Ghalib for an entire generation, because I have met at least a couple of dozen people who actually tell me this. So I believe the popularity of Ghalib, the visual media is, you can credit it to the visual media rather than the text media. And one thing that really is surprising, that Ghalib has not been published in Persian.
Yes.
Despite having that many prolific work in Persian, he hasn't been published in that particular language. I believe Abhay might be having some input on that.
No, I didn't get what you said. When you meant he's not been published in Persian, what did you mean? His divan is available in Persian.
Yeah. Mostly.
Hey, Sushruth here. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Hey, I just have a quick sort of a comment to share. I was learning Persian for some time from an Iranian student who is a student here at the Deccan College in Pune. And I asked him this question, and he said that I have read Ghalib in Persian, and he also obviously understands Urdu to a large extent. And he said his work in Urdu is far more impressive than his work in Persian, and I was not very impressed by his work in Persian. I thought Iqbal is a much better shair in Persian. Now, I have no idea because I don't really speak or understand Persian to that extent, but that's what he said. I thought it was just an interesting thing to share.
Actually, when I talked to this man, Sanjay Godbole, do you remember I mentioned him in the beginning? That I was coming from Mumbai to Pune, and suddenly I opened a topic in the train. He talked till I reached Karjat. So finally I had to tell him that there's a network problem, stop. So he said that most of the Ghalib things which you appreciate and take may not be his. Because his main work is in Persian, and because he said, I have spent money on buying 12 of his letters of his own hand, some in 70s or 60s. With such a hefty amount that I could have bought a one BHK house in Pune. So he said most of the things are all cooked because of his great name. The real work is in Persian, and nearly nobody understands. And just to support what he said to me, recently I had a contact with a scholar in LA who is basically from Iran. He is a faculty there. He said most of the things in Persian and Ghalib we ourselves don't understand. It's so difficult Persian. Like our old, very, very old language scripts in Indian languages. So it's a mystery. But anyway, whatever it is, finally, we are not going to change people's opinions and mind, because once such a powerful medium of films and dramas and all kind of fancy and fantasies is in front of us, we'll say, oh, this is what Ghalib is. And let it be. Why should we object?
So, Shruth, I was just...
just one quick question. For the expert. Hello?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I just was wondering, I remember reading somewhere that the Ghalib ghazal sung by Saigal, even not just Yahudi Ki Ladki, but the private ghazals, right? Aha Ko Chahiye and so how popular were they, and how much did they contribute to popularizing Ghalib? Because I read somewhere that Saigal's ghazals made ghazals and Ghalib popular, but I just wanted to check from the experts how true that is.
I don't think so, because Saigal mainly did this in the early parts of his film career. And like Lataji, because a celebrity, people said, okay, tum Saigal ka bhi, Ghalib ka bhi gaao. Possibly. Anyway, so should we go to wrap up, or you want to ask or comment or discuss anything more?
Yeah, any comments, anyone? I think many have been silent.
I just had one thing to say, Sushrut. I think you were talking about the Persian ghazals, right?
Yeah, this is an Iranian guy,
Right.
Persian is his mother tongue, and he's a linguist himself.
I was quite struck by that because Ghalib is on record as saying that he considers his Urdu output as very secondary. He says, if you really want to understand me, read my Persian ghazals.
I know, that's why I asked him this question, because I was also very curious. And he said, we consider Iqbal as a much greater Persian poet to have come from India and not Ghalib.
It is also very prominently displayed in the serial by Gulzar that when Ghalib recites in Persian, he is thrown out of the court and he's not entertained.
Also in film.
In the serial, it is very prominently displayed.
Yes, yes.
So his Persian work is much richer. And Tera Vaya Ghalib was supposed to have new ghazals by Jagjit and Chitra.
Yeah.
Because of his death, they used the same ghazals which they had used in the serial.
Okay.
And in the serial cover, you will find a lot of less ghazals, and in the actual serial, there are many ghazals.
I see.
Where there was no music, probably they did not mention that, or they did not put that on the cover.
Good point.
So there are a lot of ghazals without music in the serial, which are much more enjoyable than with music.
Sure. But just one quick additional comment, interesting anecdote, not related to Ghalib but related to Iqbal. They refer to Iqbal as Iqbal Lahori and not as Allama Iqbal, which is also something very interesting.
Anyway, whatever Sohra Modi did, Ghulam Muhammad did, Gulzar Saab did, Jagjit Chitra did, it's really, a passion and love for it, and that's what we cherish today. When we go,
and Kafias,
tunes and everything lingers, and okay, let it be happy. So, as I said in the beginning, that this friend of mine, Mr. Murli from Mumbai, who wanted to give a scholarly talk on Urdu and Persian poetry on Ghalib. Unfortunately, I couldn't make it because I was in Kerala in museum for some other work. So from there, he asked me to send MP3 files of this Saigal couple of ghazals, which I sent. So people are historians looking from that side. Then we at RMIM looking so many things available and analyzing, trying to understand and enrich ourselves and to others. But I was looking on the internet that is there any other art form where people have paid any tribute to Ghalib? And to my surprise, I found one. And with that, I want to end this show. And there's a good news on that video clip is itself a silent, so you don't need any sound in it. And that video clip is something like this. You can see it's a Mirza Ghalib portrait on left, you can see. And it is something on the bottom written Wajid art. So this is a very famous man in Delhi whose name is Wajid. And if you Google and see his YouTube videos, what he does that he takes a canvas and he takes small nails and just puts nails on the wooden board, and with those black nail heads, he makes painting. So this one, you can see on the left, it's complete Ghalib as he visualizes in the painting. But on the right, if you see, you will see, oh, is it some AK-47 or something, or what is this? And this portion over here is the same thing around his neck. And I was also quite taken away, what are these objects here? And then I read the comment in the YouTube section. At least these are the day-to-day utensils and the things which Ghalib probably handled. Then I could realize, oh, there's a wine glass here. Then there is a surai here, the wine jug is here, and kalam, pen, vagara. So what I propose that I will show you this video, and then we wrap up. So this is the video which I want you to watch for a minute. So thank you. Thank you for giving a nice experiment. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Sureshji. So I'll share the recording with everyone, those who missed also, and if you can share the presentation also, Sureshji, because it has audio as well.
Sure, sure. Audio, of course,
Anybody
from internet, everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Any additional comments? Anything? Aditya, you're there. You've been silent all along.
Yes, Abhay, I just have one minor comment. There was a movie in 1937 called Mukti. There was a Ghalib song, but the first list Ghalib plus Arju Lucknowi. I don't know if anybody has looked at what addition or subtraction Arju may have done to Ghalib's. इसको ये सूरत नजर नहीं आती.
He has butchered it, that's all.
No, Abhay, I think this can be a very good topic for next RMIM. That
wonderful, good.
Film Ghalib song used in various Hindi films from beginning, like you said. So that could be a very good entertaining as well as educative session for how the Ghalib songs are even used up to today. Hazaro Khwahish I see in that film.
And Aditya, one more point. Ghalib wrote very long ghazals. Any specific reason for that?
Aditya, you're there? Hello?
Yeah, may not be specific reason. ये कवि है ना, जैसे प्रदीप साहब ये मेरुतम चलोगा अंतरे के आप अंतरे लिखते गए और GD Madgulkar in Geet Ramayana, he started writing not a single song, less than 12 songs. So मन में जो आता है, keeps on writing.
So
Aditya doesn't want to talk.
Are we ready with claps and thalis for Sureshji?
Thank you. Thank you so much.